Hello, this is Mike from Dimensional Walking. Today I'm going to do a video on 3 countries of the world that have the most reported alien abductions. Okay? And of course, I have to tell you right out of the box, I believe there's more than 3 countries. I think there's abductions everywhere in the world. Okay? These just seem to be the ones that report the most abductions. And they are the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia. Okay, so we're going to go through each one. I'm going to give you some of the most, I guess we'll call it the most popular abduction stories that people have talked about over the years. This first one is 1961. It's Benny and Barney Hill. I know most of you have heard of this if you're into the UFO abduction phenomena. And so anyways, this story goes where the couple was driving through New Hampshire, and they claimed they were abducted by aliens as subjected to medical examinations. They reported seeing a bright light in the sky and then remembered nothing until they were home hours later. And of course, they had one of the most famous missing time events ever. And they also had a little bit of a dent on their car, which I believe had to do something with an alien, with the alien abduction. And after the abduction, they had all kinds of experienced nightmares and anxiety. But then under hypnosis, they were able to recall being taken on a spaceship and basically examined by the aliens. Now, they had other experiences throughout their life that are well documented in several books. So, next one is Travis Walton. Okay? So Travis Walton is an interesting one because I know Travis Walton. I've had him on a couple times when I ran the UFO forum in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Very sincere guy, truly believe his story. Anyways, the story goes that he was a lumberjack at one point in his life, and he and his crew were driving along in just north of Phoenix in the mountains. I think it was actually on an Indian reservation in the mountains. And anyways, I think it was the Mongolian Rim, I think it's called. Anyways, so he was driving along and suddenly a bright light came in the sky. They stopped the truck. He got out. He was drawn to it, and he was taken. He was taken up into the UFO, and his other colleagues basically saw that happen. Okay. So anyways, he said that he was taken in the ship. He was examined by probably gray aliens, had large heads and black eyes, and he was, had all kinds of samples taken of his blood. He was returned to Earth and was found in a remote area, and he was naked, disoriented. The story goes on, and pretty much he's been talking about it for a very long time. And it's been very controversial, to say the least. The next one is Whitley Strieber. Whitley Strieber, also I know Whitley Strieber. And in 1985, he wrote a book called Communion. And he's talked about many times about him being abducted by aliens. He was subject to many experiments. He also claimed that they implanted devices in his brain. And he was also used to breed human-alien hybrids. Okay? And do I believe Whitley? Yes, I do believe Whitley. Next was Peter Curry. In 1978, he was a Louisiana man that claimed he was abducted by aliens and taken on a craft. Claimed that he was told that these aliens were from Zeta Reticuli. He said that the aliens took him on a tour of the ship and showed him all kinds of really cool technology. And he said the aliens also gave him a message to humanity. It's kind of a warning that the great dangers of nuclear war. Okay? So let's go on to the United Kingdom. So the United Kingdom, there was a event. His name was Freddie Jackson, and this was in 1965. And he was a farmer in Yorkshire, England. Claims to have been abducted by aliens and taken to a spaceship. He claimed that the aliens were tall and slender with large heads and said they took him to a room in the spaceship and showed him a map of the stars. They claimed that they were from Andromeda. Next one was Shirley Gordon abduction in 1964. The woman was from London. She claimed that she was abducted by aliens. She claimed that her aliens were from Venus. She said the aliens took her to a room on the spacecraft and showed her a device that cured all diseases. She said that the aliens assured her that they would come back one day to help humanity. Then there was another one in 1979. This is in Yorkshire, also in England. Alan Godfrey was the gentleman's name. He claimed that he was abducted by aliens and taken onto their ship. He claimed that the aliens told that they were from Lyra. He said that the aliens took him to a room in a spaceship and showed him a device that could control gravity. He also said the aliens told him that they were monitoring the Earth and they would intervene if humans became too destructive. Okay. Next one was Keith Ledger. And this abduction happened in 1994. And he was a man from Berkshire, claims to have been abducted by aliens. He was told that these aliens were Orion. And they said the aliens took him onto the ship and they showed him a device that created wormholes. He also said the aliens told him that they were planning to visit Earth again in the very near future. So that was 1994. Then the next country, of course, is Australia. Australia, for its size, has had a lot of UFO sightings and a lot of alien abduction cases, sort of in the same vein as Canada. Canada doesn't have a huge population, either does Australia, but they have a lot of sightings and they have a lot of abduction stories. This was from Wycliffe Wells, and that's in Northern Territory in Australia. And he said he was abducted and subjected to medical examinations. They reported being taken to a spaceship and examined by beings, gray aliens. They took samples of his blood and urine. They also were told him that they were from the planet Ummo, UMMO. Okay? Never heard of that one before. Then the next one was Catherine UFO incident in 1978, and this was also in the Northern Territory, in a place called Catherine, and there was a group. It was a family actually. They reported seeing a UFO and land in their backyard, and then were taken, and all of them were taken on the ship. They said the aliens were, again, grays, large heads, black eyes. They said that the aliens told them they were from a planet called Plea. And then in 1982, there was a man named Ken Arnold. Okay, not Kenneth Arnold of the Washington UFO sighting fame, but this is just Ken Arnold. And he was driving home from work in Melbourne, and he saw a bright light in the sky. The light got closer and closer, and Arnold could see that it was a huge metallic object. The object hovered over his car for several minutes, and then he was beamed aboard. Okay, let's see. He was beamed aboard. I guess that was it for him. And then there was, hold on one second here. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, and then let's see. Then there was the Perth abduction, 2001. And this is a woman named Belinda Mason. She was walking home from work in Perth, and she saw a UFO land in nearby park. The UFO was very large, silver object with bright lights. Mason said that she was drawn to the UFO and walked over to it. The hatch opened up, and she was beamed aboard. Mason said that she is taken to a room on the UFO and examined by aliens. The aliens were tall and slender, again, your typical grays. They took samples of her blood, just very similar to Ken Arnold. And they also implanted a device in her brain, very similar to Whitley Strieber. After examining Mason, she was taken back to the park where she had been abducted. She was disoriented and confused, and that was very similar to Travis Walton. but she was unharmed, very similar to Travis Walton. She reported the abduction to the authorities. They didn't seem to really do anything about it, which is fairly typical. So I guess what I'm saying is there was many abductions around the world. Okay, it isn't just in these 3 countries I mentioned. And one of the takeaways from this, it seems in many cases they talk about they don't seem to be harming anybody per se. They also talk about maybe coming back and helping us, and I can say right now we definitely need the help. So with all that said, thank you. Bye-bye.